Hi everyone, it's the Kenny Crafter, and today I thought I would try and make an ideas journal. Now this is something I saw Gail Augustinelli do, and basically when she's found a new technique or like a new way of putting something in a junk journal, like a different type of pocket or tuck spot, or a new way to use a book pages, she'll pop it in her ideas journal, and then she can always refer back to it. And I just think it's going to be a good resource to have, because I've only made a few journals, but in those that I've made, they've all been the same old. And I think if I have this, something to refer back to, I can have a lot more variety. So I'm going to do a fabric cover journal, and I've taken an old jiffy bag, padded envelope with a bubble wrap on the inside, and I've just ripped it into its front and back parts. I have done this before using the whole jiffy bag and it was lovely and chunky, but I think because of what I'm using this for, in that I'm short on storage, I just want something a bit more compact. So I'm going to say that I'm going to use a sewing machine and this 3-in-1 glue. The 3-in-1 glue you get in a pack of 2 from Amazon, and it sticks everything really. So I'm just going to first start off by sticking down this where it ripped away when I separated the two halves. And I don't know. No, I think I'll keep them. So what I have here is a scarf that I bought from a charity shop. Isn't that lovely? Just look at them colours. They don't look as rich as that in real life, but close enough. And I've already trimmed off the tassels on one end and just put it through my sewing machine on an overlocker stitch, because I don't want it to free, and just to see how it would go. It's ruffled a bit, but I think I was pulling it as it was going through. If you see, I realised what I was doing, and it's less ruffled at this end to that end. So I think I'm going to do that on the front and the back. So I'm going to pull in a drop sheet, another Gail Augustinelli idea, and we'll start on this side first. Let's just put that off, put that in the bin, and I think what I'm going to do first off is I'm going to glue it. I'm wondering, should I glue it, cut it, because I'm going to overlap it? And then you see how much, if it doesn't work, there's plenty of scarf. There's another half of a jiffy bag. And I know some people don't glue to the edges when they are going to sew, but I've never had a problem with it messing up the needle because the glue's normally dry. Don't use double-sided tape, because I've done that before. That does mess up the needle. And basically, this is just going to give it some stability when it goes through the machine, and it's also going to be just some extra support for it. So I want the less ruffly end. Okay, let's flip it and see what it looks like. Now, I'm also debating, because I'm going to do this on the inside and the outside, should I just fold that over? And then I'll only have to overlock. Tell you what, doesn't it look gorgeous? No, I'm going to do it in two halves. So let's cut up here. And I've remembered my fabric scissors today. Now if you don't have an overlocker stitch on your machine, you can just do a zigzag right close to the edge. If you don't have a sewing machine, sure you can get like a sort of glue that you just put on the edges and it stops it fraying. So I'm going to go away. I'm not going to sew on camera because my sewing machine's on the other side of the room and it'll not fit under my setup. So I'm going to go away and quickly overlock these two edges because this edge was already stitched and I already did. Did I already do that one? I did. And I'll be back. So I'm back. I've overlocked my edges. And now to do this side. And I was thinking, I'll do this side. So there's the doggies barking because somebody shut the door. Now my problem is when I overlocked the first time it ruffled the fabric. So I'm going to have to be very careful that I don't stretch the fabric. So let's cut this bit off here. And then, actually let's flip it, I think that'll be easier. Okay, relax the fabric, don't let it ruffle too much, or pull should I say. And then open this side up. We've caught on a thread there. Again. So I'll turn it over. Hopefully, if I can overlap this without pulling the fabric too much, we should get a good fit. This is the left window. You know what else I'm wondering now? If I do want the thickness of the envelope. I think I do. I think I'm going to reattach the envelope. So what I could do is stick this on here and overlap around it and then stitch these together. And then I'll not have to worry about it ruffling. Is that a plan? to apply it. I've probably gone the long way around things, but I've never used a fabric that I've had to overlap like that before. That's the problem. Okay, let's get rid of some of this stuff here. Cut that off, and I shouldn't have done, but we'll make it work. All of this has come off. So let's first of all stick this down. You know what else is funny about using the roll wrap envelopes? When the needle goes through at the top. So we may have to trim that fabric down again. Actually no, we're going to keep it long. Just making sure they match up right. Pull it all out. Make sure they curl up. Yep, you're gonna have to. I didn't put it on centrally. Put a bit more glue on. Okay. This side was a lot harder than the first side. Just because I don't want to have to cut any fabric after it's been overlocked. Because obviously that'll defeat the purpose of it being overlocked. But I can just sort of reposition that slightly. Straighten that bit off. Okay, let's have a look. Yep, I think we're okay. And now we'll go and overlap this and be back. I'm back. That one was a bit harder than the other one. The threads kept getting stuck. So now the next step is, ooh, I can't believe how fast this day is going. I'm going to glue front and the back together. Again, using a 3-in-1. To then the world, if come at the paper outpost is down the middle. And line them up best you can. And I don't mind that I've got bits of envelope showing. I'll sort that out later. I'll leave behind there. Okay, put my lid back on my glue. Oh, it tends to erupt. Go out of the way. Goes out of the way. So now I'm going to disappear again to sew this all together. Now you're probably thinking I could have overlocked it all at once and that would have sewn it all together, but I don't know. I'm not that proficient a sewer. But at least now I know everything's caught in. Hopefully nothing will fray. I'm also going to do a zigzag stitch just to be doubly, I couldn't say that there, doubly sure that nothing will come apart. And then you get a clip which is the front, like the inside and the outside, and then which is the front and which is the back. Listen to it. Oh, it's scrumptious. But see what I mean about how thick it is. Ugh, it's going to be tactile. Now I had pulled in some other things which I forgot about. But instead of sewing them on, I may just glue them on, because ideally I would have sewn those on before I stitched the two together. Ideally. But like I say, I forgot. Oops. So I'll be back again. Bye. So I've zigzag stitched around all of my edges, and I think I've caught everything in. Where I have these little bits here, I think I'm just going to go in with the glue. And stick them down. Not for any more. No, I think that was it. And then I saw a bit. Where was it? Up here. Can you see? I just got a bit of envelope exposed, and I've pulled in my distress ink, and I'm just going to make that white pink so it's not as obvious. A bit more down here. I suppose I could have used brown as well, but I don't think I had that shade of brown, at least pink. Sort of pulls in the pink a bit. Okay, let's put it, see if there's any on the other side. Yep. Okay. Yep, happy with that. Oh, hold on. Bit more up here. Okay. So as I said, I have this lace, part of which is just handed in a cup of tea. And I want to sort of put it on here as an extra layer. Now, I said I should have stitched this on before I glued the two things together. And I'm wondering if it would be make a nice detail on the inside. So I'm just going to decide which bits of this I want to keep and which bits I don't. Oh, that is tough to cut out. Oh! Okay, I think I want to get rid of this half leaf here. Like that. And then here. Can you see? Am I still in frame? Apologies for the dogs, they must think good things are happening. I hear you always. I think we can get rid of most of this. Oh, I nearly cut the cover. Be careful you don't cut your cover. Oh my goodness, that's so tough. Okay, let's see how that looks. Oh, now that just gives it a little something else. Let's fold it in half. Yeah, I like that. So I think for this, I am going to glue first, just to keep it in place. So we'll just put some glue if it wants to come out, and really just tacking it down. So I'm going to get rid of these bits here. I don't need those. And I'm just putting the glue on the backs of the flowers and the leaves. Where it'll not show through, hopefully. Okay, get some tissue. This looks a bit leaky today. Flip it over, cut off this bit that hangs over because we don't want to be wasting my time sewing something that doesn't need to be sewn. And then I'll leave them for now. Guess where I'm going? Back to the sewing machine. I am back. And I'm not gonna lie, that was a lot more work than I thought it was going to be, and a lot more thread. I have rethread that machine 3 times. It's actually the next day. It took so long. So just bear that in mind. This isn't a quick little project. I think it would have been if I hadn't have gone for adding this pink lace, but look at it. It's like it's gone poofy and lovely, and it's just more tactile is the word, so it just fits in the screen like. So I did that where I'd shown you I was going to place it, and then I thought instead of having to pull the box back out that is under the desk, which is a huge box full of fabric, I would just use what was left. So I salvaged the rest of the flowers from the lace I pulled out and some extra leaves. These are actually 3 separate pieces that I just lay down to be as one, so it would emulate that. And I love how it's turned out. And on the other side, I was worried how it would look, but it's seamless. If you didn't know, like you can just see here. And I think that's because of the type of fabric I used. And the type of fabric I used, I don't know if you can see here. If you're using this kind of fabric, be very mindful, because these little threads get wrapped around your foot of your sewing machine. it's snagged a lot of times, and I've just been sort of trying to work them back in with my finger. So yes, that was frustrating, but I believe it was worth it, and I'm so happy with it, and I just can't talk about it. So it's gonna fold in the middle like that. No, I'm happy with it. So for the inside, I thought I would make, I do believe it's called a naked journal, because obviously it is just going to be filled with embellishments and ephemera and tucks and flips and stuff. So I just pulled out some paper. This is A3 that I've cut down to A4 as best as I can. It's a little bit higgledy-piggledy, but yeah. And then I thought I want to add some, I bought some vellum, and these are marketed as wedding card inserts, and it was really cheap. It was the cheapest way I found to buy vellum. I think I got it from Printable Heaven. It's not folded properly at all, but it doesn't matter because it's going to go in a signature. So I thought with the vellum, I want to practice embossing it, and I know that it can be quite tricky because the heat distorts the vellum, but I thought that's something I want to practice, and I'll put it in here. I want to put some envelopes in just to remind myself that I can put envelopes in signatures, because I often forget that that's a thing that can be done, and it just provides a pocket straight away, or you can open them and have them as journaling spaces. And I bought doilies from a second-hand shop, one of my favourite second-hand shops, and I've never found a way really to use them in a journal yet, so I thought, can we try and stitch that in a signature? If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. I'm sure we can salvage parts of the doily for other things. So I first want to fold all of my pages in half, which may get very boring. And these are going to be sewn in to the signature. The signature is going to be sewn into the spine, and I've only done that twice before. So this is before. I think what you need is a template. I may have to watch another video to refresh my memory. This is just going to be a signal. I can't do words today. A single signature journal, because I figure the less math I need to do, the better. And I don't know if, now I said it was going to be a again with the words, naked journal. I don't know if I want to decorate a few pages before I put them in, just with some stenciling or embossing. Seeing that I can do stenciling while it's in. So I don't know. No, you know what? We're just gonna do it. I figure if I want anything embossing, I'll just emboss an extra sheet and stick it on top. Let's fold our doily over. Let's try and get it semi-lined up. Ooh, these doilies are apparently made in England also. Isn't that a cute little detail though? You can see that. It's embossed, made in England. Okay, and they're already folded. Now the next step is to put these all one inside the other. I think I'm going to put an envelope in there. And I could have used scrapbook papers, I could have used printed papers, but as I say, I just want this to be sort of, I don't want the pages to distract from, again with the words, from the contents. Like I say, maybe some stenciling, maybe some embossing, but again that's just going to be to remind me of a technique I can apply to a journal. Oh, that's going to stick out lovely. Put these three in. And you know what, I didn't check to see if everything would fit in the journal. Of course it does. Look at that. Like a glove. Now do I want some more pages in? Bearing in mind it's going to bulk up when I add my bits in it. There's about, let's see, it's approximately 18 pages. So that is again with the maths, there's a lot. There's probably enough to get us started. Okay, so and then it's going to poof out and it's going to be able to manoeuvre and bend and I just can't stop. It's just so nice. Okay, so I honestly didn't think that would take that short amount of time and I haven't got anything else prepared. So I'm going to have to pause here while I go get my stuff out. So I have my collection of stuff. So what I have is some wax thread, a pokey tool, it has a special name, I forgot what it is, some bulldog clips, some large needles, don't know if you can see them, and this is a bit of foam packing material which is just going to take the needle and save my bench. So these were all from a kit on Amazon, and you don't have to use wax thread. I have seen people use dental floss and you'd have that mini freshness. So with the clips, this is just to hold all the pages in place. They're not lined up at all. Oh, it doesn't really matter. I've been told to do opposite corners. Ah, see, I missed one. I missed one. Oh, and can I just say, look at how cute these clips are. The Mickey Mouse heads. Got them off my sister. I think I'm not going to measure. I think I'm going to be a rebel. I'm not going to measure. I'm just going to eyeball it. So pokey tool. I keep the this little doodah bit on it, because I keep them in a bag, and if I'm rummaging around it's sharp. So approximate the centre. You could measure it, but as I say, I'm being a rebel. I'm just going to do that a few times. And then, how far is that? A couple inches? 5 centimetres? And approximately the same from the other end. Ta-da! And then we bring that in our journal. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? Cut our thread. So I've chosen a brown because there's browns in this. So it's 3 times the length of the spine. And then I'll do a little bit more, just in case. I put the plastic back on because I don't like the feel of the wax side. Then I'm hoping, because it's fabric, I can just go through with the needle and not need the awl. Oh, you know what I've just realised? These are all different sizes. Now I know why you get so many. I thought it was in case you lost one. So. Sort of got that in the middle. So I'm going to go in. From the centre and pull, and you want to be leaving a tail. I'm going to go up, to there, and then what I tend to do is go down here and out, and then come back through the centre. Don't come through any threads. Ow! Stabbed myself. Am I bleeding? No, I'm good. Am I? A little pinprick of blood. Let's just not touch anything. Okay, so I'm through. I want to take one tail through the underside of that middle thread. So I have one on each side, like that. I take my needle out, make sure everything's tight, which it isn't. Now it is, and then double knot, and one the other way for good measure. And then I'm just gonna cut them down, but leave them long because I haven't decided what I want to do with them yet. And we can now remove our clips and hopefully when I close it, everything should be tickety-boo. And it is. And hold on, I'll put that needle back before I lose it. So open it up. We have a signature in place. So let's go through and make sure I got all of the pages. I got that envelope. The vellum has got 2 holes through it, so that's good. I got that envelope. The doily is the thing I'm interested in. Yep, that's in there nice and secure. Yep. Everything is in like flint. So I think I'm going to leave this video here for now because I need to go and curate some ideas for my idea journal. So this probably wasn't the most helpful tutorial there are other tutorials out there, but I just thought I would share my process with you. And I'm so excited. It's been something I've been meaning to do for a while. Yay! I love it. So I'm the Canny Crafter. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Bye!